Broadcasting from Millvale Studios, you are listening to Funny Money on the River's Edge Network. I'm your host, Tom Henry, and with me is our producer, Brian Crawford, our head honcho of the station also. So, welcome to Brian.
Welcome. Glad to be here.
And thanks for producing.
Always a pleasure.
So, today was an eventful day in terms of the market. We had Janet Yellen announce the Fed decision on whether to raise rates or not. And the decision was, as the market expected, that they would raise rates by a quarter point. And Janet Yellen was very complimentary of the economy in her statements, and that helped the market run north a little bit. Which, you know, this, if you've been paying attention to the market, it's been very good. You know, it's been pretty strong.
No.
We've had a couple.
That's not possible.
Oh, yeah.
The world was supposed to crumble and buildings were supposed to burn and a businessman wasn't supposed to know anything about running a business.
Well, prognostication is just that. I mean, so you never know what's going to happen. But... Well, or maybe you do if you prognosticated that the market would rally. Did you?
I thought that he would be good for business. I did. I thought he would be terrible in other areas, and I'm being proven right in some of those areas.
Yeah.
But as far as business goes, I thought he would be good for business. I thought, a business guy who's spent his entire life working in the private sector would know the needs of the private sector better than somebody who made their money off of charity.
Yeah, so. that is, I can understand that. Now, so far, yeah, the market's been agreeing with that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that is just perception, because there hasn't been that much policy change in reality, in effect yet.
Yeah.
But the perception of a lot of American business and Wall Street is optimistic. So... the Janet Yellen also has said the economy has been picking up, and just even the idea of optimism helps the economy because it helps you feel confident. Like you can go out to dinner, can do this and that, and that brings me to what what our topic of the night is. And I say go out to dinner. I mentioned that because we're talking about two casual dining restaurant chains. Mm-hmm. One is Buffalo Wild Wings. And the other is the Cheesecake Factory. And they're both kind of like similar sized companies. So, but slightly different in the expectations for their performance. Mm-hmm. But going back to the day, it was an interesting day. Janet Yellen raised the rates, and I'm not surprised. And she indicated that there would be probably 2 more rate rises for the rest of the year, which is a little less than some people were thinking. So that also helped boost the market. And
doesn't that usually
rates went down a little?
Doesn't usually when they raise rates, doesn't that usually tank the market? Is that incorrect?
That's the normal effect, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's like you're putting the brakes on. But there's also this, we've been in this weird state for so long where the brakes have been completely off and we've just been drifting slowly that for us, like in this situation where when she raises the rates a quarter point and says the economy is doing well, people feel good. And they mm-hmm. and also the fact that she indicated that she was going to raise rates less than anticipated, or some were anticipating this year, less than the average of forecasts, I should say. That gives the market some oomph.
Okay.
That
makes sense, yeah.
So let's talk about Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings, I just went there. 5 weeks ago, maybe. And
where do they even have one around here? I know up by Robinson.
Is that right? There was one in Monroeville.
Yeah, that's true. There is that one.
I went to one in Virginia, but Eastern Virginia, like close to D.C.
Okay.
And it was pretty good. You know, I got wings, and
You got wings at Buffalo Wild Wings?
I like them a
What a
particular
concept.
style. Like, you know, and well, what I like to do, I don't like soggy wings.
Okay.
You know, I really don't. And so I like to order the dry rub or whatever
That's
is.
right, you do. You have like a formula. When Tom goes out
Right.
and gets wings, it's like an entire science experiment. He's got different sauces and he's got different wings and he mixes them in different concoctions.
My friend Richard Corsi, who's a great chef who runs Yinsburg Barbecue on Baum Boulevard, which is absolutely phenomenal. Just plug that one. And he says, he turned me on to this, that it's best to cook it dry so that it retains its crispiness.
Okay.
You know, otherwise it's going to tend to be soggy. So the dry thing, and then you get the sauces separate. So I get like dry. I'll even get just straight up plain dry.
Oh.
But I like at Sidelines, where I'm going to go after the show, I'm going to get the dry ranch and then side of buffalo hot sauce and a side of ranch. And that's like beautifully delicious.
Yeah, their wings are good there as well.
Mix those sauces together. Oh, so good. Anyway, so Buffalo Wild Wings wasn't quite Sidelines, but the wings were decent. Like, I thought that were
I
good.
think they probably have some of the best out of like the chain wing places,
right.
in my opinion.
That's what I thought. For a chain, they were probably like the best that I can think of. You know, or well, maybe Quaker Steak and Lube is
See,
better.
I don't think so. I don't think they put enough sauce on their wings. But I get my sauce cooked in with the wings, and I feel like they always skimp. I feel like their flavors are good, but they don't give me enough of what I need.
Well, you should get a sauce on the side.
I should, but I shouldn't have to ask. Like, I feel like,
Right.
you know, you're America's best wings. You shouldn't be skimping on the sauce.
Right.
So.
Well, according to them, right. Buffalo Wild Wings
Yeah, that's
would
what they.
beg to
Yes,
differ.
yes. That's what they claim. So I'm not claiming that. That's what they claim.
So, all right, let me tell you a little bit. So I didn't do our normal bio for these two companies because there really wasn't enough on them.
And they both had normal names. I'm assuming.
They were founded by multiple people, both of them.
Oh, okay.
And so it was difficult to, you know, like find someone who was famous, you know, like, and that might just be because these companies are fairly young compared to the other companies that we do. And these people have yet to have their names enshrined in Wikipedia or in libraries. You know,
it's harder to
other
get into
publications.
Wikipedia than you would think.
Really?
It is, yeah. So I started the CalU Relay for Life, and I was trying to give us like a free promo, so when somebody would look up Relay for Life, they'd see our name there. And they kept taking it out, and I was putting in real, honest information that could be verified through a website, and they still were like, no, absolutely not.
Wow.
I'm like, I can't even give you real information, and you accept it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was so difficult.
Yeah, that people act like, that's the thing, the professors, and I understand you can't use Wikipedia as a source in a college paper, but they act like it's so, what's that?
I can use it as a source here, though.
Yeah, sure, it's your show. But they say you can't use it in a college paper, but really it's actually difficult to put wrong information on there. They verify it and then they take it off, so it's not like, the professors act like...
No, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, and the professors act like, anybody can throw anything on Wikipedia.
Right.
And
It's not quite like that.
Not quite like that, yeah.
Yeah. So, in fact, I am going to use Wikipedia as a source for these two. And also the Wall Street Journal website, WSJ.com. All right, so I got the Wikipedia right up on Buffalo Wild Wings right here. And I'm going to read the history section from Wikipedia. Buffalo Wild Wings was co-founded in 1982 by Jim Disbrow, Scott Lowry, and Bernard Spencer. Disbrow, Lowry, and Spencer came up with the idea one weekend when they got together in Kent, Ohio, for Disbrow to judge an amateur figure skating competition at Kent State University in 1980. I wonder if that was a party night. That was it.
Yeah.
It was one of those creations.
It had to have been, yeah.
They decided to open up. It's like, let's open up our own restaurant. It's like The Hangover or something, and then you're like, wait,
You know
did I
what?
really
though?
agree to this?
That's how many decisions are made.
I know.
Yeah. It's
They decided to open up their own restaurant, first in Columbus, Ohio, and then in Westerville, Ohio, 1 year later. Originally called Buffalo Wild Wings and Weck. And this was actually, from the founding until 1998. So from 1982 to 1998.
What a
it was
dumb name.
Buffalo Wild Wings and Weck.
That's a stupid name for a restaurant. That doesn't roll off the
Well, do you know
tongue
what
at
Weck
all.
is?
No.
It's like the, and I had to look it up. But then when I looked it up, I remembered I had heard about it before. It's this like sandwich they have, or it's the bread, certain type of bread that they put. It's like called Kummelweck, and they put roast beef and like Thousand Island dressing and au jus on this bun of Weck, and they call it a Weck sandwich.
Well, it might be good. I just feel like for marketing purposes, it just doesn't roll off the tongue easy.
Right,
I feel like they made a good decision by dropping that part of the name. Even if they keep the food, I don't see why they shouldn't keep the food. Just
Right.
in fact, that might actually be nice, to go out and try something different at Buffalo Wild
Yeah.
Wings.
So it says here, it was originally called Buffalo Wild Wings and Weck, from which the abbreviation BW3 was created. Mm-hmm. The third W was for the beef on Weck sandwich, a staple of the Buffalo region. Okay. Even though they were founded in the middle of Ohio. All right. In 1990, Buffalo Wild Wings and Weck began to franchise. Mm-hmm. In 1998, the name was changed to Buffalo Wild Wings Grill and Bar. The corporate headquarters was located in Cincinnati, Ohio, until 1997 when it was moved to Minneapolis.
Okay.
Okay. In 2010, the company announced its expansion to Canada. And in February 2012, Buffalo Wild Wings reported $495 million in total assets.
Wow.
In 2015, Buffalo Wild Wings expanded into the United Arab Emirates when it opened a restaurant in Dubai. Okay, so
Wow, I
that's
didn't know they were international.
pretty wild. Yeah, but I don't know how international they
Might
are.
be like Kogo's.
Yeah,
Kogo's has one convenience store in China.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And so they're in China.
Yeah.
Isn't Kogo's the one that is like owned by Venezuela?
No, they're a Pittsburgh-based company.
Oh, are they?
And
Okay.
yeah, they're actually owned by a dairy company, Cotrion Dairy, and that's what Kogo's stands for, is Cotrion on the go.
Ah,
so
interesting.
the entire
Like a Go-Gurt.
so the entire thing it was
Yeah.
literally they made the store Kogo's which is funny because the Kogo's brand, in my opinion, is actually a more well-known name than Cotrion, or however you say the dairy. But
Yeah.
the dairy company literally built the store just to sell their milk because they didn't have anywhere to sell their milk at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to read what Wikipedia says the concept is for Buffalo Wild Wings. The chain is best known for buffalo-style chicken wings, along with over a dozen dipping sauces. So yeah, that's when I saw the menu, it had like all these different sauces.
Uh-huh.
And this was my takeaway. When I ate everything, I was like, the wings were good. They weren't like phenomenal, but they were good.
Yeah.
And but the sauces, like the ranch, was like clearly like it was that preserved kind where you peel off the lid.
Peel off the lid, yeah.
Yeah, and so it wasn't. The sauces weren't good. Well, at least the two that I had were like pre-packaged and stuff. I guess that doesn't matter so much with the buffalo sauce, but it does with the ranch.
Sure. Yeah, you want
or
that homemade ranch.
Right. Or blue cheese, that would matter too. Mm-hmm. That like
We're
fakey
snobs.
blue cheese. Yeah.
We're not going to eat that prepackaged stuff. Oh,
So,
God.
but like that's why like Sidelines or a local place that serves good wings is so much better. Mm-hmm. So the chain is known for the buffalo wings, over a dozen dipping sauces, as well as a complement of other items such as chicken tenders and legs. The chain's menu also features appetizers, burgers. All right, this is a little detailed. Okay, they're best known for their famous Blazing Wing Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
They challenge customers to eat 10 of their hottest wings under 6 minutes. This is just like Quaker Steak and Lube. Did you ever see the time when they did that show, like that eating competition show? The guy's name is Adam Richmond. And
I don't know if I saw that.
It's like Man versus Food.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, and they did a Quaker Steak and Lube, and they have a challenge there, and it's just like this. All right, so they eat 10 of their hottest wings in under 6 minutes is the challenge. The winner gets a free T-shirt and their picture on the Wall of Fame. Very similar to other places.
Yes.
The restaurants feature an open layout with a bar area and patio seating, flanked by over 50 televisions and media screens. So you're inundated. I mean, it's a sports bar. That's a good place to watch.
I don't like their new layout.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the way that they've changed. It used to be like where they were more like a regular restaurant, and now it's like you're sitting in a cafeteria. There's a bunch of tables in a big open room. I hate that.
Right.
If I go out to eat, I don't want to be, I don't want to sit in like a high school cafeteria. I want to sit, in a booth somewhere.
The service was a little spotty, too, in my location.
Was it?
But, that's probably location specific.
Sure.
Yeah, that guy was funny. All right, so let's see. In 2016, the new restaurants being built followed a new type of layout. This is exactly what we were talking about. That gives the guests the feeling as if they were actually in a sports stadium. That's what they're trying to do.
Okay.
Okay, you didn't even know
That's
that.
what it is. I did not, but you know what? I don't know.
Yeah, you don't think that's a good idea.
I don't like it. It's just not. It's not me. Maybe for someone else.
Well, at any rate, this is a company, that it's been around for a while. I remember this stock. I've never owned the stock, but I've followed it a bit because I could remember it just soaring in the late 90s, early 2000s.
They did have like a
This
peak,
huge run.
Yeah.
But, if you look back from 2014 to now, it's really the same price. So the stock hasn't taken off. It went through its growth phase, and now I would think it's in its leveling off phase. However, some of the metrics suggest otherwise. So if you look at the PE is 29.5, which is huge for a restaurant chain. Very high. So already I'm skeptical of whether I'd want to buy a company like this. No dividend. Return on invested capital, 13%. Mm-hmm. So, you got like a 30% PE, 30 times PE, 13% return on invested capital. Very expensive, right? Net debt to equity, only 18%. That's very nice. That's a big bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And then expected growth. It's expected to grow 14% earnings. It's earnings by 14%. And despite of the fact that they have one in the UAE and a few in Canada, it's very much a domestic American play.
Yeah.
So you would, if there were any corporate tax cuts, you would get the benefit of those if you were an investor here. But I don't like... all right. The growth is impressive. If it's going to grow earnings 14%, that's very good. But I still don't think that with a return on invested capital of 13%, a stock that's kind of like been treading water for 3 years, no dividend, I think it's too rich to buy it right here. So I'd stay away from Buffalo Wild Wings.
As an investor.
Yeah, as an investor, not as a consumer.
Yes, Paige would pick, she comments here on the Facebook live feed that she would pick Buffalo Wild Wings over Quaker Steak, but she would give it to Sidelines over all of them.
Yeah, I agree with Paige on that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a no-brainer for me, And if you know Sidelines, their wings are awesome.
They are great.
Plug for Sidelines too. So we'll take one quick little break, and then we're going to come back and talk about our second company, the Cheesecake Factory.
Zhuzh. Zhoozh. It's like a palindrome, but it's not. It's Zhuzh. This is Liz Tripoli inviting you to Ham Bones, March 18th at 10 p.m. after Hogwash. For only a $5 donation, proceeds benefit Greater Pittsburgh Literacy Council. Please come see Zhuzh, a comic, a musician, and an improv troupe who walk into a bar. Sponsored by River's Edge.
Okay, welcome back. All right, so we talked about, we're talking about casual dining, and we talked about Buffalo Wild Wings, and now we're going to talk about the Cheesecake Factory, which isn't exactly the same type of restaurant as Buffalo Wild Wings. They're both in the same industry, but I would say Buffalo Wild Wings would be a little more casual.
Yeah.
'Cause it's more of like a sports bar.
Oh, yeah, I feel like Cheesecake Factory, even though they are casual dining, I feel like they try to portray themselves as not casual.
Like a little
dining.
little more upscale. Yeah, and it's a place where you go and you sit down and you eat. You're not like just watching sports, drinking beers. Mm-hmm. It's a place you go and eat a meal.
Yes.
Okay, so in that sense, they're different.
I could tell you later. I have a funny story about the Cheesecake Factory.
Really?
Do you want to hear?
Yeah.
So I'm a big shot. People know me.
Oh, yeah.
So I went to the Cheesecake Factory one day, and I don't know why. I mean, the place is it's not bad, but I mean, people are crazy over it.
Or
down in the South Side.
Oh, yeah.
At that one,
Over at Hot Metal Bridge.
Yes,
area.
that area.
Yeah,
so
okay.
we're there, and there's literally a line going out the door of people waiting to get in
ridiculous.
to eat. We walked right up.
It was on a weekend, I assume.
Probably.
Yeah.
So it was years ago, but it was even before I was known from this. So I walked right up to the front. Oh, right this way, right this way. They sat us immediately. All these people were glaring at us as we were, seated at our table. The restaurant comped our meals, and it was wonderful.
Really?
This is a true story.
Really? Wow.
But it was.
That's pretty awesome.
I don't know if it's because people knew who I was. That's what I'm guessing, or if it's because one of the friends I was with, her cousin was the manager. I'm not sure which was the reason why.
Okay.
But I'm assuming it's probably because they knew who I was. But
yeah, that's the right assumption.
probably.
So,
True story.
I went there. I've been there also fairly recently. And you know what? Like, some of the stuff I had was awesome. Some of the stuff was just, good. But it was all good. But, like, I had their artichoke, they have, like, a artichoke appetizer. You get a whole artichoke, and it's baked, and they have, a dipping sauce. It's really good. If you like artichoke.
Yeah, I'll have to try it.
Very good. And it's like the whole thing, like where you like bite the stuff off the leaves and discard the leaves.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
I don't
You
know
ever
if
eaten
I
an
don't think I've
artichoke
ever.
like that?
No, I don't think I've ever eaten
it's
it like that.
Good shit. All right. So let me tell you a little bit about the history of the Cheesecake Factory from Wikipedia. Mm-hmm. The Cheesecake Factory was founded by Evelyn Overton. Evelyn first decided to open a business after making a cheesecake for her husband's employer in 1949. She opened a small cheesecake shop in Detroit. He must have been like, "You're fired," or I don't know what she's like. She's like, "Uh-oh, I better learn to make better ones." Now I got to support the family. All right, so she opened it in Detroit in the late 50s. But eventually gave it up in order to raise her 2 children. Okay, sounds like a very 50s decision. She continued to supply cakes to several local restaurants through her kitchen in her basement. In 1972, Oscar and Evelyn Overton moved to the Woodland Hills area of Los Angeles, where they opened a wholesale bakery in which they produced cheesecakes and other desserts for local restaurants. So I guess it was this bakery thing. Pretty much, started with cheesecakes for real. All right, 1978, Evelyn's son David opened.
They still do cheesecakes.
Yeah.
Still
Oh,
get
yeah,
one
yeah.
there. Mhm.
They're delicious.
They are good. Yeah.
In 1978, Evelyn's son David opened a small salad and sandwich restaurant in Beverly Hills, which sold 10 varieties of Overton cheesecakes on a one-page menu. In 1983, the Overtons opened a second restaurant in Marina del Rey. By 1987, the Beverly Hills location had expanded into a 78-seat restaurant and was experiencing great financial success. This led to the opening of a third larger location in Redondo Beach, which was eventually renovated to a 300-seat, 21,000 square foot location. By the end of the 80s, the Cheesecake Factory's one-page menu had expanded, and the restaurant offered additional fast food and short order items. Okay, so that's like completely different.
Fast food, yeah, that's completely different than what they are now.
Right. So it's this
However,
weird...
I guarantee you the Cheesecake Factory probably will serve you your food faster than the McDonald's out on Allegheny Avenue on the north side.
Really?
I wouldn't
That's
be
ridiculous.
surprised. So I guess you could argue they are fast food by those standards.
That's yeah. I guess those are very low standards because McDonald's usually would kick their butt. All right, in terms of
speed. Yeah.
Obviously not quality. Okay, expansion. All right, so
Why that's so funny to me.
yeah. Why?
McDonald's going toe to toe with Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
Imagine if they were topping them in quality.
No, that would not be good. Yeah, you'd be like, Big Mac. Yeah, be like, well, it's cooked well done. I mean, you have to analyze it.
Well,
like
not
that.
the one on Allegheny Avenue.
Oh, yeah?
You wait over half an hour, you get a cold burger.
Oh, jeez. What a nightmare.
It's awful.
The one at the Waterworks is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's an exceptionally bad McDonald's. And
Yeah.
one time I went there, and I thought, this place sucks.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
The thing is it's like,
To say that McDonald's sucks is like saying something.
So, I go there, and I'm like, it's the only thing that's open. It's either that or, like, 7-Eleven food that's been out all day. So
Yeah.
I go to McDonald's.
Yeah, that's bad news.
And I'm thinking, I'll get a salad. They can't mess up a salad. And, I work overnight, so I go there. I ask for a salad, and apparently the McDonald's on Allegheny Avenue won't pull a salad out of the fridge after midnight.
Oh, my gosh.
So I couldn't get a salad.
Couldn't get a salad?
No. And
That's
you know that
weird.
they don't make this. It's not like they're
Would
back
they
there
have
with
a
some
lock on the fridge? I
I
mean,
guess I don't know.
this is the midnight lock.
It's not like it's not like-
Cinderella or some...
yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
there's a chef back there chopping up the salad. They pull it out of the fridge.
It's crazy. I know. All you have to do is open up the fridge.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, at any rate, so you get it. They opened up their own thing, which was a cheesecake bakery type thing for desserts and stuff. And then the son opened up this salad and sandwich restaurant. Mm-hmm. Okay, and incorporated their baked goods and stuff. So, okay, as they expanded, they opened up in Southern California, and they expanded into Washington, D.C., and they incorporated in 1992 and went public 1993. David Overton planned to open 3 to 4 units a year in the hopes of generating 25% a year increase in sales. But the company began changing its menu twice a year and added items including steak, seafood, and vegetarian dishes. The company continued to open new restaurants, and by 1995 was ranked 11th in the United States. Wow, that's a big deal.
That is big.
As of April 2013, the Cheesecake Factory operated 162 restaurants under the Cheesecake Factory name in 36 states. I can tell you Buffalo Wild Wings was in all 50 states.
Oh, so they have expanded further.
Yeah. But, Cheesecake Factory is more... It requires more investment to put in one Cheesecake Factory.
Sure.
It's bigger, and It requires a certain amount of kitchen space, more so than Buffalo Wild Wings. Okay, so they also expanded internationally, but still, the vast majority of their revenue comes from the United States. Now, I also wanted to mention about popular culture. Right here it says a fictionalized version of the Cheesecake Factory was used as a setting in the U.S. sitcom The Big Bang Theory. According to the company, it does not have any sort of arrangement with the show.
Oh.
A third-party source identifies the plot element as an example of product placement. So there's a little controversy over that.
That is interesting, yeah.
Is it like subtle product placement? Probably. There's probably some tacit agreement. Maybe like the whole cast eats there for free.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, that's sometimes that's a good deal. I know Awesome Cast, which is a podcast that rebroadcasts on our network, actually right after your show.
Yes.
And they're sponsored by Slice on Broadway, and that's what Slice does for them is they give them a pizza every
excellent.
show. Yeah.
So likewise, this is also with Cheesecake Factory, the Nickelodeon series iCarly. Remember that?
Yes, yeah, I think I do remember hearing that name.
A parody in that series, a parody of the Cheesecake Factory and the Spaghetti Warehouse.
Which closed in the Strip District.
Yes, I know that, yeah. A little while ago.
Yeah.
It was like 6 months ago, maybe. Or longer.
Something. I was still surprised either way.
The Cheesecake Warehouse is featured, where the main characters acknowledge the ludicrously large portions provided in their meals. Canadian rapper Drake's song, this is yet another reference in popular culture. Canadian rapper Drake's song Child's Play references the Cheesecake Factory. So you can see it's all over, sort of like Western culture.
Yeah, seems to be.
And, it's got a real brand, and it's good food I've had some really good things there. I would say the menu is huge. You notice that?
Well, I've only been there that one time when I was seated and had my meal comped. It has nothing to do with the place, though. It's just I don't travel to that side of town often, and I keep forgetting that there is one right up here in Ross Township, so I really need to just go and check that place out. But
yeah,
but I keep forgetting it's there. But it's like anytime I'm in the South Side, it's like you got Cheesecake Factory, and then you've got like the Hofbräu House, and I like to stand on the chair and sing, so I always end up going there. But that's because if I'm going to the South Side, I'm not going there typically to eat. I'm going there for something else,
Right.
So.
To drink.
Yes.
So let me tell you about the stock. Okay, the symbol is cake, CAKE. Symbol for Buffalo Wild Wings, by the way, is BWLD. Be wild. All right, so Cheesecake Factory has a PE of 22, a 1.54% dividend. That's not nothing. Return on invested capital of 20.21%. So in this case, compared to Buffalo Wild Wings, which is a company where the PE is double the return on invested capital percent, and this is the comparison that I like to look at a lot. We have a company where the PE is very comparable to the return on invested capital percent. Net debt to equity, 8%. That's like almost nothing. So that's great. Good balance sheet. So that's a big plus. So far, it looks good. Then you have expected earnings are expected to increase 7% for the year. Now, that's only half of what Buffalo Wild Wings was expected to increase. However, I think that that estimate could be low if the economy outperforms. Also, I think that because the value is so much better here, what you're getting is a return on invested capital comparable with the PE, which is right around where it should be. You know, that means the company's not overpriced. Also, you're getting a clean balance sheet with hardly any debt, net debt.
Well, that's good. I know that's a big thing for you.
And you get a dividend. Yeah. So, all in all, I think Cheesecake Factory is a go. You know, it's a decent part of a portfolio. It's not something I would bank on to be like a definite winner, but I would put it in there. It's not a bad part of the portfolio. If the economy does well, it should do well, unless they really screw up, and they haven't so far. So I'd be very tempted to buy some of this.
There you go. So, well, you've been more
bullish.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I am more bullish now because I do think that there are conditions that are allowing us to have more of a run than like last year, for example, when China was really hampering us.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty good. I would buy Cheesecake Factory, but I would not buy Buffalo Wild Wings at this price. And with that, we're all out of funny money tonight.
All right.